Well, good morning. This is Brian Newberry with Magic Valley Realty. I wanted to address something that just seems to be coming up all the time. When people find out that you're a real estate agent, first question I always get is, of course, they want to talk real estate because if you're living in Twin Falls, Idaho, you can't help but notice the real estate market. I have a new term for it. It's stupid busy. It's stupid busy. It really is. I was born and raised in Twin Falls. I feel like I have a stake in this market, I guess. I raised my kids here. They went to schools here. I have my business here. My family's here. So I have deep roots in the community, and I feel like, I do have a big stake in what's going on right now. So, but what everyone talks about is, do you think the market's going to crash? Do you think we're in a housing bubble? And they compare it to 2008. First of all, I guess it annoys me a little bit to some extent. I'm not sure why people think that whenever the prices of homes escalate like this, they think there's going to be a crash. It's like they think the housing market crashes every 15 or 20 years. Historically, if you look at the United States housing market, we have technically what's called a crash, a greater than 20% reduction in prices. Um, Vaguely, that's the definition of it. We have a crash about every 80 years. Every 80 years. We had our last one in 2008. Before that, it was the 1930s. And before that, it was the 1870s. So the housing market does not crash every 10 or 15, 20 years. It just doesn't happen. So what's driving the housing market? Why is this market different in Twin Falls than it was in 2008? Well, I just want to talk about three reasons why it's totally different, that it's nothing compared to 2008. First of all, the first reason is supply. We are at about a 2-month supply. Now, a 6-month supply of housing is a good balanced market. If we get up around a 9 or 10-month supply of housing, that's a buyer's market. Anything below about a 5 is a seller's market. We're under 2 right now. It's definitely a seller's market. And that's because builders stopped building. They just stopped building homes back in 2008 when the housing market crashed. If I recall correctly, we had about 400 homes on the market in Twin Falls in 2008. We have about 40 right now. Totally different. Supply is extremely limited, and it continues to be limited in the United States. We are almost 5 million housing units short of demand in the United States. It's going to take several years to catch up on that. If you look at the homes being built in Twin Falls right now, almost every single one of them are pre-sold. Every one of them. And so once the builders get those taken care of, they can start building some spec homes, but that's going to be a year or more out because we can't keep up with the demand. And that's the case not just in Twin Falls or in Boise or in Idaho. That's the case in the United States. And actually, if you read the news, there is a global shortage of housing. So it's not something that's unique. Yes, Twin Falls and Idaho has been discovered, and we have some unique challenges here, but by no means should we think that this is the only place that this is occurring. There's a critical shortage of housing throughout the world, and Twin Falls is not immune to that shortage. So what happens when demand is high and supply is low? Prices go up. There's just no way you can get around that. They naturally increase. Second reason why it's nothing compared to 2008. Back then, just about anybody could get a job or get a loan. Back in 2006, 7, and 8, we had what's called ninja loans, no income, no job. Those are not the case anymore. They have really tightened the credit since then, and so not just anyone can get a loan anymore. Not only that, the pandemic has shifted everyone's idea of what housing should look like and where they should live. And so we have a huge amount of people moving across the country. Again, Twin Falls and Idaho is not the only one that's experiencing this. People are moving more than ever before. And what's really driving the market are the millennials. This huge demographic shift. The oldest of the millennials will be 40 years of age this year. They have good jobs, they have money, and they want to buy and they want to move. And so that's what we're seeing. The group of millennials are bigger than the baby boomers were. And so that was not the case in 2008. Demographics have shifted. The housing demand that we see now is real. It's not driven by super low interest rates. Although rates are low, it's not driven by the fact that anyone can get a job or get a loan, even if you don't have a job. That's not the reason why this housing market is the way it is. Demand is very real. It's not artificially driven as well. And then the third reason why this housing market is totally different is households have equity. So did you know almost 40% of all homes in the United States are paid for free and clear? Almost 40% of homes are paid for free and clear. Another 30% of homes are equity rich. That means that they have equity 50% or more above and beyond any loan balance that they have against the home. So almost 70% of the homes in the United States are in a very solid financial position. The others, of course, we wouldn't expect 30% of them to default. That's just not going to happen. But some of them will, there's no doubt about it. But we're not going to see the type of foreclosure wave that we saw back in 2008 as well. So bottom line is this market is nothing like it was in 2008. In fact, as mentioned over and over, Twin Falls just passed national average for housing. Can this price increase continue? No, there's no way. I expect double digits again this year, maybe 12, 13, 14% increase, but next year back down into the single digits, maybe 5%, 6% increase in housing prices next year. And if the housing market does reset, we're still not going to see a crash. Let's say if in 2003 or 2004, the housing market resets for some reason, it's not going to go back to 2015. It may go back to today's prices. So if you bought a house today and it increases 5 or 6% over the next 3 or 4 years each year, and then we have a small reset, it's going to go back to today's prices, not 2015. Now, of course, that's assuming something major doesn't happen, a world war or something like that. But if we just continue on in the same pattern that we're currently on, supply and demand dictates we are critically behind in housing. Houses in Twin Falls, in Idaho, and really around the nation in general will continue to increase until we're able to meet this housing shortage that is currently taking place. So I just thought I'd share that with everyone. That's my take on it. You may have your own, and I certainly would appreciate or always welcome any feedback on it. Either way, you guys have a great day. Magic Valley is still a great place to live. I love living here. I love working here. And I love helping my friends and family buy and sell real estate, recreating, running their businesses here, whatever the case might be. So again, I do try to keep an eye on the market, try not to be jaded by what's going on, try to be realistic, and that's currently what I see taking place in the market. You guys have a good day.